It was just a year ago that 17-year-old Norma Lopez walked out of Moreno Valley's Valley View High School and was never seen again. She was a good student. She wanted to excel, especially in math, so she took summer school courses here. Basically, she did not have to be here. She could have been doing other things on the hot summer days of July. But she came to school, and every day she had a routine. I'm Louis Amestoy with the Press Enterprise and PE.com. And we're now looking at the year anniversary of the death of Norma Lopez and what it meant to the community of Moreno Valley. Today, there are still many questions about her disappearance and her death. It has been a galvanizing moment for the city of Moreno Valley, who pushed back against crime in their city.
This case started sort of small. It started with just a missing person, and it quickly grew as the community realized the atrocity of this crime. You have this innocent 17-year-old girl walking in broad daylight who was suddenly abducted, and the community was fearful and identified with the fact that this could have been anyone's daughter.
Everybody could relate to this incident because she was a young girl. She was in the prime of her life. Anybody who's a parent must have understood what this family was going through, and yet they probably weren't even close to that.
From the beginning, the Riverside County Sheriff's Department knew that Norma Lopez's disappearance was cause for immediate alarm.
Immediately, we knew something was wrong because it was out of the norm, and that's how we handle all investigations. They're all serious. Usually, the investigations will let themselves down. We'll find out information which leads to the circumstance not being as crucial as this one is, except in this particular investigation, everything that we found out seemed to escalate.
Right. The Sheriff's Department has never disclosed the cause of her death or even key details about her abduction.
That's common in any homicide because many times the only person who would know this information are the primary investigators and the suspects themselves. So it wouldn't be very smart to give that out to the media, because if we do locate a suspect and he does have information that nobody else should have, he can't say, hey, I learned this through the media.
A person of interest was taken into custody in September, but sheriff's officials now say he's no longer a suspect. It had been intensely hot across the Inland Empire that week of July. For Norma Lopez, her routine was to attend summer school classes at Valley View High School. It was in this field between Dracia and Cottonwood Avenues where Norma Lopez would take a shortcut. She would walk through the field, down to Cottonwood Avenue, to a friend's house where her sister was awaiting. In Moreno Valley, especially if you're a Valley View student, cutting through this field was fairly routine. At the time, part of the journey involved passing through a grove of olive trees, which could obscure people and vehicles. It was shady there, definitely a shady place of escape or a hiding spot. It was here where sheriff's investigators believe Norma Lopez was taken. If she was taken there would have been multiple escape routes for the suspect, who was believed to have been driving a green SUV.
Yeah, initially they said that her sister was supposed to meet them at a location at 10 a.m. When she didn't arrive at 10 a.m., they went out looking for her, because they thought it was unusual because she's normally punctual. When they couldn't find her, they basically traced her footsteps backwards. They know she has a specific route that she takes every day, and so they went through that route just backwards from the location they were at towards the school. And while they're en route through that route, they basically found some items that belonged to Norma, and then they knew, or they felt that they knew, that something was wrong. They then contacted the Sheriff's Department, and based on those circumstances are Norma appeared to be a very good kid. She was an average 17-year-old girl going to school, going to summer school, never got in any trouble, wasn't a runaway of any sort, pretty much did what she was supposed to be doing. We found it unusual, so we started acting upon those circumstances.
They established roadblocks. Investigators, including those on horseback and from the FBI, searched the field. There was nothing. Then, on July 20th, just 5 days after Norma had gone missing, a farmer along Theodore Street on the eastern edge of Moreno Valley stumbled across a body. With television helicopters orbiting the scene, sheriff's investigators painstakingly searched the area of olive trees. But in those first hours, all they knew, they had recovered a body, but they could not determine if it was Norma's.
Tomorrow at 9 a.m. we will be conducting an autopsy, and hopefully by then we should be able to at least be able to determine whether it's a male or a female. Again, it may take anywhere from a day to 7 days to actually identify the body positively.
The next day, Sergeant Borja made the announcement that no one wanted to hear.
Block of Theodore Street in Moreno Valley in the open field. An autopsy was conducted on that person today at 9 o'clock, and the autopsy did reveal and positively identified that person to be Norma Lopez. Well, we were all hopeful throughout the whole investigation, right up to the point where they located Norma. We were all hoping for a positive outcome. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. That particular day, yeah, we were still hoping that something positive would come from this, that maybe it was just a misunderstanding, maybe she was out with a friend or something like that, but that wasn't the case.
It didn't take long for the community to come together.
It exploded into something that I haven't seen before, where you had this case, and once everybody had found out that Norma had died, it brought the community together to share in that sorrow and that outrage. Suddenly, within a few hours, you had 2,000 people descending on Valley View High School for an impromptu vigil that was never announced and never planned. But everyone came to just share stories of Norma and to share what they were feeling.
Go anywhere, she is with us. She will never be was, were, or any of those past tense. We can keep her with us in our hearts and in our prayers.
A few days later, hundreds gathered for a memorial walk to remember Norma. They retraced the route she took that fateful day. They ended, lingering at the spot where the sheriffs believed she had been abducted. Her funeral brought together thousands who waited in long lines for a chance to say goodbye.
As Reverend Seha presided over it, he really transcended the community's emotions. Their anger, I think, was something that he was able to, if not explain, sympathize with. And he told them, how could this happen? How could someone take away Norma, this innocent girl with her future ahead of her? And he put it in a way that the community, can't blame anyone but the person who did this. And that I believe part of their motto was that heaven had reclaimed an angel.
Throughout the rest of the year, as sheriff's investigators tracked down every lead and tip, the community continued to gather to keep the issue front and center and to remember Norma. Norma's sisters and friends helped create a pledge designed to raise awareness of never walking alone.
Never again.
Possible kidnapping has
Norma
a
may have
teen's
been
friends and
kidnapped.
family
Police say there were
worried and
signs
police
of a
on
possible
alert.
struggle.
Never again will I walk alone.
Authorities fear she may be kidnapped, and tonight the search for the teenage girl intensified.
Never again will I be unaware of my surroundings.
It was just this morning police positively identified the body found yesterday in a field as Norma Lopez.
Never again will I fail to share information with others.
Never again.
It's a tragedy that has brought this community together like never before.
Take Norma's pledge.
In June, Valley View High School honored her memory with a posthumous diploma.
To be here with us today. Norma's sister, Elizabeth Lopez, will accept an honorary diploma on Norma's behalf.
A year later, we're still no closer to finding the person who killed Norma Lopez. And that's been tough for the sheriff's department.
Well, it's frustrating anytime we can't solve a crime, whatever level the crime is. This happens to be much more serious of a crime. It was very sensitive to everybody around us. It impacted, like I said, not only the department, but the community as a whole.
In the end, the memory of Norma Lopez is of a girl with promise and charisma, and one who will always be remembered. For the Press and Reprise and PE.com, reporter John Asbury, I'm Louis Amestoy.